Are you tired of feeling trapped? That feeling where you can barely breathe, where you can never get ahead? Well, if you're like most people, like myself, you want to start your financial journey, but you probably have nothing. And today I'm going to go into where you can actually start your financial journey and how to actually do that. I remember when I started my financial journey, I was all on my own. I didn't really know how to do it, except I just knew I had to make a plan. So I made this plan, how I was going to save money and where it was going to come from. It was going to come from working extra jobs to create extra income. It's as simple as that. I knew I needed to make more money. I wanted to make more money. How do I do it? I get an extra job. But anyways, so I finally felt like I was ahead, and then it all came crashing down because my truck basically went out everywhere. My fuel pump went out and I had to get it towed. I got that fixed, and then next thing you know, it's the transmission. And I had to get new tires on my truck, and then I hit a deer, and I had to get new lights. And everything all at once was just piling up. I also had different books that I had to buy for my classes where I thought I had the books, and then all of a sudden I had to buy 3 access codes that it cost $150 to $200 each, and everything all at once, and it sucked. It pulled me back down. It hurt my motivation, but I knew that I just had to keep grinding to actually get ahead. Then I would be prepared for those emergencies in the future. I knew I had to get more income to recreate that money that was in my account that I had to spend on my truck so I could catch back up. Sometimes you go through seasons where you have to make more money just to catch back up, or you have to go through seasons where maybe you go on a silent season where you work on yourself, you find God, you just kind of grind, you have that grit just so that you can get ahead back to where you were or to reach those financial goals that you're actually setting for yourself. So like I was saying, I was devastated because I had all this cash in my bank account. I finally felt like I was getting ahead, and then it's $1,500 for a truck repair. It's $700 for new tires. It's, it just adds up. All the ebooks that I was buying and all the different things that were adding up, and it was just pulling me back down. And it hurts. It's devastating. But today I'm going to go over different ways that you can actually increase your margin gap so that you can save money. And then in future videos, I'm going to pile that on actually what to do with that money and how to actually set up accounts so that you actually can save that money. So back to this story. I could have given up. I could have said, you know what, I worked so hard and it's all gone. I'm just going to swipe this little plastic card, this credit card, and I'm going to get ahead because it's just going to keep pushing my debts further and further down the road, like kicking a little tin can down the road. I could have gone into debt. I could have taken it easy. Hey, I'll pay this off in the long run. But that is a really bad mentality because those type of people, that mentality, you'll never get ahead because you're actually not going to push to get back ahead. You're always going to be behind. You're always going to be kicking that tin can down the road. And it's a really sad situation because that's exactly what most people do. They don't have the money for emergencies, so they just have to go into debt in order to pay for those emergencies instead of actually getting ahead and having an emergency fund so that whenever those emergencies do pop up, you have the cash there. Now, I know that I had other financial goals in my situation in that story I was telling you, so it was really devastating for me because it wasn't just an emergency fund. It was, I wanted to start saving for a house, saving for a wedding ring, saving for all these different big expenses that I knew I wanted to buy in the future, and all of a sudden now it's like my truck just craps out on me, and now I have to fix that, and all that money is now allocated towards that instead of what I actually wanted in my own financial goals. So basically what I did, I looked at my income, and I already had decent money at the time. I had to figure out ways to actually make more though, and that was just by getting an extra job. So I already had a couple of jobs. I was hauling hay in the evenings, and then I also had an office job that paid decent, but it wasn't getting me to where I wanted to be, and especially as fast as I wanted to be. If I wanted to sit there and work at the same stuff for a longer time, then that would have been fine. But I had goals that I put specific time periods on, and if you haven't watched a video, I actually go into that. Creating goals, it's a whole series. You have to create your goals with actual timeline and different things that will actually push you to get there faster. You have to be very specific in your goal creation. But anyways, so I looked for more jobs, and I actually went and got different jobs. I started mowing, I started reffing, I did all kinds of things just to increase that income. And that is exactly where I want you guys to start on your financial journey. It's by looking at your income and looking at your expenses. Once you look at your income and expenses, then you know exactly how much that margin is between them at the end of the month and how much can actually get saved. That's exactly how you actually get ahead, is by looking at your expenses and looking at your income and actually having that margin. There's a margin there from the difference of your income that you bring in and the expenses you pay. The thing is your expenses can only get so low. You can only cut so much until you're actually cutting into things that you actually need for living. So you need your medical, you need your insurance, you need food, you need transportation, you need housing, you need all that stuff. So all that stuff is mandatory in order to live. If it's mandatory to live, then that has to be on your expenses, because if you didn't have it, you would die. But there's only so much that you can cut until you're like, hey, this is the bare minimum of my expenses that I have to pay. Like this is the minimum amount that my expenses can be in order for me to live. The income part though, that's always a base level. So you have your job, you make X amount. Now all of a sudden, if you go get another job, you make a bigger margin. Or if you get a raise, you get a bigger margin. So that margin is always there in order to expand. And the bigger that margin gets, the more you can actually save, invest, and get ahead for your future goals. Now, one of the hard parts is once you create that margin, a lot of people now say, I have money to spend and blow and, go party or go on a vacation and a trip and go out to eat all the time. But in reality, that's not how you get ahead. That keeps you in the same mentality, and that's just lifestyle inflation. You make more money, so you spend more money on your own lifestyle. The people that can really get wealthy, the people that really get ahead, get their emergency fund set up, they actually start saving and investing and have money working for them, are the people that create that margin. They get bigger gaps in their margin, and that margin now all still goes towards your savings account or an investment account that you're using to have your money grow. You can put it in a high interest savings account. You can put it in, different mutual funds or whatever you want to invest in. But that's how you actually create wealthy. That's how you get ahead. And I knew that. I understood that. I just didn't want to actually get a second job. Now, all of a sudden, I start working, and I have this setback. That actually motivated me harder, because now I know I want to get that back and some. So I actually got another job, like I said, multiple jobs that actually pushed me harder and harder and harder, until all of a sudden now I have my bank account and my investment accounts look great. And I have a house, and I'm married. I was able to buy the ring I wanted, all these different good things, because I knew that that margin needed to get bigger. Most people don't do that, and they start struggling, and then they go into debt because they don't have that money for the emergency fund. So basically in this video, if you want to start your financial journey, you have to have goals and be specific about your goals. If you don't know what I'm talking about, click the video. It's probably going to be right up here. Click the video, go through that step-by-step process. It's probably 5 videos long. Go through all that, figure that out. And then I also have a budget creation video where you can create a budget for yourself. Go through that. You'll figure out what your expenses and your income is. You'll see what your margin is. And then can you reach those financial goals with that margin? If you can't, there's got to be a change, whether that be asking for a raise, whether that be go getting a second job, maybe it's a part-time job. I don't know what it is. Maybe you're a contractor, you work at night, or you start your entrepreneurship journey and you make a YouTube channel, or whatever it is. You have to create a bigger margin in order to reach those financial goals. And the bigger that margin is, the faster you can actually hit those goals, because you're able to save and invest more. So like I said, I'll actually create videos in the future going over what to do with that money. If you want to save money, I have videos out there currently on how to save money and what to do with it, but I will go more in depth, maybe a step-by-step on how to actually set up a high interest savings account from your home, from your laptop, from your computer, or maybe it's I want to set up a Roth IRA. I can show you guys how to do that too, go step-by-step, a little tutorial. Those I think would all be really helpful for you guys. Let me know though what you're interested in a video in the comment section. I don't know what that would be. Maybe it's side hustles. Maybe it's different ways to increase your income or lower your expenses or whatever that is. I want to know your ideas so I can create content, create this community around you guys, because this is for you guys. Yes, it's for me because I love sharing knowledge, but I want to help people and I want people to be able to get the answers they need in order to succeed. If you want to come on the show, rylant.curtis@gmail.com. We can go over your budget. We can create your financial goals. That's basically exactly what I'm having you guys do through these videos. We can do it live in person with me so that it's easier and I can actually walk you through step by step. Like I said, guys, hit the like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next video. And remember, you can do all things through him that give you strength. Peace.